Good morning, Bishop Kenny students. PE classes and Miss Doherty coming at you from the Volano Beach compound. It's another great day here in Volano. As you can tell, my razor is amiss, but I'll work on that for today. I think I have a faculty Zoom meeting, so I might have to tighten up a little bit. I want to wish you a happy Tuesday, and hopefully the sun's out and you responsibly getting out there in the sun. Hopefully you took yesterday's lesson on the sunscreen and then adding to your daily routine, and hopefully we're able to get that organized. Today we're going to talk about communication skills. I found over this weekend that sometimes my communication skills are a little need to be refined or worked on. So much time alone, it's hard sometimes when you get out there in the wild world now and you're talking to people, and it's like I had an issue this weekend with my sister-in-law where we were going just to buy some plants at a garden center, and they left before us, and all of a sudden my wife and I beat them there. We were like, well, where were you guys? Right? She's like, why are you always yelling at me? And to me, I didn't even notice that I was being not nice to her. So I thought I'd take a look at the way I speak to people and try to be more calm and more to the point. So, perhaps in your family, people are getting on your nerves. Maybe you have a younger brother, sister, parents. You're having a lot more we time and not as much me time, maybe. So you're spending a lot of time in the family house and the settings, and you're possibly not allowed to go outside or whatever your parents' rules are. So maybe you have to look at your communication skills. Earlier when we were in the health classroom, we talked about the I statements, and it's basically, you're providing a direct comment using I. So I would like to go outside, or I think we should do this. You're very direct in telling people what you want, and you're more likely to be able to communicate effectively. Now, using I statements does not mean that you always get your way. I mean, your parents, as I always could say, no. So, when you think about using I statements, the benefit is there's no middle ground. It's not like somebody says, what do you want for dinner tonight? And you would say, I want chicken, I want steak, I want salad, whatever your choice is. But you're expressing to them exactly what you want. And we aren't dealing with the gray area where you're like, oh, it doesn't matter. Wishy-washy people are sometimes hard to communicate. Coming from a large family, I've been in a lot of these situations where, we're all going out to dinner, and it's like half the group's like, oh, I don't care. Well, that doesn't help us solve where we're going to dinner. We need to have, people say exactly what they want. Or if you have it the other way, people tend to get disappointed because they didn't get their way. Well, how can we give them their way if we didn't even know what their options were? So I look at those kind of situations, and it's like my dad would always use the term, hey, stand up and be a little man. Step up and say what you want. Express to people your desires so that you are not disappointed. When you possibly did a fitness plan or something like that, you had to kind of state what your goal was. Sometimes we meander aimlessly because we don't have a direct path. And, so this time alone, I'm trying to think, and I've had success last week at losing weight. I lost about 7 pounds, and just one simple change I made. I do not drink any sodas anymore. I don't drink any fruit juice or anything. I drink water. I have my big Yeti full of water all the time, and I just take a big drink and I keep it ice cold, and it's working for me. But a lot of times I do say, oh yeah, I'd love to lose weight. Well, there's no plan. It's just kind of like, I wish I looked like that guy on the beach who looks great. So now I am trying to say I am trying to lose weight because I'm changing my eating pattern. I only drink water. So we'll see where it takes me. Along with the I messages, you have to pay attention to your volume of your language. Are you a loud talker? Are you a soft talker? Sometimes soft talkers, I run into that sometimes when I'm not very confident. I'll kind of talk a little soft, and people are like, what'd you say? Are you talking to us or what are you doing? So you want to make sure that you have the proper volume of your speech, also the pitch, also the tone. Are you making eye contact? Do you talk to the person that, look at the person you're talking to? Are you focused on what they're saying? I know when I was younger, I struggled with this a lot of times. You go to meet somebody new and you're already, as they're saying what their name is, I'm already saying, oh, hi, I'm David. And I don't even hear what they say. And then I'll turn to my wife, I'm like, hey, what was his name? So it's a good thing to be an active listener and also be able to pay attention. We talk about eye contact. We also talk about body position. You come across a lot of people who have their arms folded. You can tell they're not very open, and that kind of sets the tone for where the speech is going. But you're probably dealing this a lot with your younger brothers and sisters. Time management. We have a lot of time on our hands, and you have to figure out how you're going to communicate and get along with the people in your family circle. So we talked about that. Active listening. Okay, do you pay attention to what they say, and are you able to, give back to the conversation? Too often, we don't have people who are listening, and then you get in trouble because you have no idea what they're talking about. They're like, are you even listening to me? They like people who will respond back. Oh, you said you like the color blue. Oh, is that navy? Is it powder blue? Is it Carolina blue? What blue do you like? To show them that you're paying attention, to show them that you have interest in what they're speaking about. Speak with confidence, okay? Let your voice be heard. Come out hard, like you know what you're talking about. Sometimes, people who speak with confidence. I have a brother-in-law. He is a big numbers guy. Anytime we measure anything, anytime we have to figure out a math equation, whatever, we're like, Buck, what's the math on that? We're talking about pricing. We add all these things together. He just does it in his head, and he says, oh, the price is this. We don't even waste our time doing it anymore. We let him handle it. He's just like, oh, that is this. Now, are there situations where he comes out and gives us false information? Sure, because none of us ever question him. We just believe it. And then he's like, oh, wait, that was this. And then I'm like, oh, maybe we should start questioning a little bit. Ability to show empathy. Okay, are you able to keep adjusting? Sorry, I'm trying to have my notes and everything and all this easy. Are you able to show empathy? I struggle with that sometimes. I had an older brother who lost a dog. And I grew up with dogs, but I'm not I wouldn't say a dog lover. You have these people who, all of a sudden the dog's going everywhere. Does it go to the grocery store? You take it everywhere? And it's like their whole life is around this dog. That's one of the reasons my wife is a little upset with me right now, because I don't want a dog. I don't want to be tied down to our house on the weekends. If we want to go to my sister's house over in Orlando or over in Bradenton or Venice, wherever it is, I just want to be able to get up and go. And I don't want to have to worry about, we put it. Do you remember? You guys probably don't remember this. You might, some will. It used to be people who had dogs, okay, you're going away for a long weekend, you put the dog in a kennel. And there's a caretaker for the dog. And then all of a sudden people thought, oh my gosh, I could never put my dog in a kennel. Now all of a sudden you're finding, call a hotel. Hey, do you take dogs? Hey, we're going on a boat this weekend on Sunday. And I have to ask, does the boat allow dogs? My sister-in-law takes her dog everywhere. And it's like, we have changed our whole lifestyle because we don't go to restaurants very often with my sister-in-law because you can't put a dog in the restaurant. So now we're always like, do you do takeout? Or do they have outside seating that allows dogs? It's a whole nother layer of a lifestyle that I don't even want to pay attention to. So I try to, that's one reason I'm not planning on getting a dog. We house sit a dog once in a while, and that's fine. The dog comes, plays, runs around. Everyone has a great time with it. Very nice dog. It's a pit bull mix, but it is the most loving dog. I'm glad when I can give it away. It's kind of like parents always say about grandchildren. They're great. They're fun to be around. They're fun. You dote on them. You do whatever. But guess what? They go home to their parents, so that's nice. So when we talk about different forms of communication, but with the empathy, My older brother, his dog died, and I struggled. I had to figure out how do I understand his deep feeling of loss over a dog. And it's like, you know, people fall in love and attach to these dogs, and they say it's man's best friend, and it does what you want, and it never questions you, it never tells you look a little chubby, it doesn't call you out for stuff. So they're unconditional love. So to be empathetic is a good skill to have, and hopefully you have that in your skill set. Different forms of communication. The older generation, we were used to, hey, when we want to talk to you, I'm going to come and talk to you face to face. I want to let you know exactly what I mean. And now we've gone on to phone conversation. Hey, so I'll just call them. I'm not going to talk to them. And that was our easy way out. I'm just going to call them. I'm not meeting these people face to face. So then, now we have so many other forms of communication. If I had a bad experience anywhere, I could just jump on social media. Oh, I can rip a restaurant for how bad their hamburger tasted without ever leaving my dining room table. And it's like this business could be getting killed because we are so quick to be critical of it. I had an issue at a store yesterday, and I said, I'm not saying anything on social media, but I am going to send a note to the president of the company and say, hey, tell me, in your advertising you had this. When I got there, they told me something totally different. I'm like, what are we doing here? But, you have to be able to think of the different forms of communication. Man, some people love to fire off a nasty email. And you're like, would you ever say that when you were in person? No. So, emails and social media are often very slippery slopes. They're tricky to deal with. Because when you write an email, I can't tell the tone you're speaking in. I can't tell how excited you are. Now, every once in a while somebody types something in all caps. Sometimes the older generation, we do that just because it's easier to read. It's not necessarily I'm trying to yell at you, but it's more or less just how I did it. Okay? But man, you can read an email 15 different ways to Sunday and still not have the right way it was said. So think about it when your forms of communication, what's the best way you're going to do it? And also, how's your tone? How's your pitch? Are you a good listener? Are you observing the situation? Okay? There's some ways that we can hopefully communicate. If you want to be successful in communications, I think some ways to be successful in your communications are, hey, be willing to adapt your communication to your audience. Okay? It's so interesting. You walk through the halls of Bishop Kenny, and we're different than a typical high school, I think, sometimes. But the dialect, how kids speak to each other, it's a social communication skill. You just kind of say what you need to and keep moving. But then you have to be ready for, as we're getting older, we're getting the summers coming up. Maybe some of you are going to be trying to get a job. Some of you already probably have a job. Okay? You can't take the dialect and the communication skills that you have at Bishop Kenny in the gymnasium and use them at your first job interview. You don't walk in and say, hey, what's up? What's up, cuz? I don't look to punch fist. Okay? I'm going to stand there, I'm going to shake the man's hand and be ready to communicate. I also want to think about when the interview's over, okay, I got to go home. The first thing I'm going to do is write a thank you card. Hey, thank you for taking your time to interview me today. It meant a lot to me. I'm really excited about the job opportunity. Okay, in a day or two, that guy's going to get that email, and all of a sudden, or I should say, get that letter you wrote, and hopefully you wrote it in advance or whatever, and just finish it up once you got out of the interview, and then you take it and mail it right then. Maybe it gets there the next day. Okay, that just says something about you as a person. But also, when you're meeting your girlfriend or boyfriend's parents, you don't walk up and give a fist pump. You walk over, stand tall, shake their hand, and say, hi, I'm Julie. Hi, I'm Jimmy, whatever your name is. Okay, you're trying to make a great impression on people. The second idea to achieve success in communication is be friendly. I tell you, there's a couple students in our classes, and there's a lot of them, I should say. But, I mean, some of them are the nicest people. I mean, it's amazing when you come across these students who are so nice. And they're going to go far in our society because people like to be around people who are nice. Okay? Be friendly. Okay? Toughest thing I think in my life, one of the toughest things is the feedback situation. I've never been very good at um, receiving feedback, or as I say, being called out. I don't like that. I struggle with that. I'm a nervous personality in some situations. Okay, and we all have those situations where sometimes you're the king of the group, sometimes you're just a little pawn in the group. So you depending on your social situation, where do you fall in? In school, sometimes you're the big dog on campus, and then you go home to your family, and you're like, okay, what are you? You're just lunch meat. Okay, so when you give and receive feedback, understand that the feedback should answer questions. Okay, it should provide a solution or help strengthen the project. So sometimes we just give feedback like, hey, how's my hair look? Oh, it looks horrible. That doesn't provide any constructive feedback. You could have said, wow, I think it's a little long on the left side. I don't think it's evenly cut. Hey, I don't think the color match is perfect for your face, for your features, for whatever. Okay? You don't just look at it and say, it sucks, or it's horrible, or whatever terms you're going to use. Okay? Provide solutions and strengthen the topic at hand. Hey, how does the paint on my car look? Oh, it looks good, but you need to buff it on the other side. Be constructive, give them a solution on what they can do to make it better. Also, in our society right now is, I think, one of the biggest things, if you watch any of the political stuff, if you watch any of the pandemic stuff, I mean, people just do not show respect for opinion. And, I don't always agree with the opinion, but I'm not going to be critical of the person who's given it. We tend to just jump on, oh, he's a fool, he's an idiot. Instead of thinking, okay, his point of view is based on this, this, and this. I can understand that, but my situation is different. Okay? I don't own guns, but I also appreciate the people who want to have guns. I don't know about the AK-47s and all that silliness, but am I going to walk downtown Jacksonville carrying a gun on my hip? No. But I appreciate that you're allowed to. I have no problem with that. But we also, in our life and your family situation, you're going to have differences of opinions. And you have to appreciate everyone's opinion, then form your own decision. Okay? Also, lastly, pay attention to nonverbal cues, body language and facial expressions. They tend to, go far in the situation. So, I think all that's good for today. Here's our exit ticket. Exit ticket for today is be a good listener. Be a good listener. Okay? Being a good listener will go far in your communication skills. So work hard to communicate and be a good listener. Well, that's going to wrap up. And this exit ticket is for, I believe, Fitness Log 14. So that's due on Thursday. So hopefully you get a chance to get out and about, and hopefully you can take some of these tips in your communication skills. Listen, provide good feedback, and get along with people. Be friendly. So this is going to be Mr. Doherty signing off. I hope you have a great, this was filmed on Tuesday. It's sunny day in Volano Beach. And I hope you have a great day and enjoy your time. And hopefully you're getting through this and getting all your schoolwork done. And remember to pray and just get in there and love your family as much as you can and realize what a great life we all have. So I appreciate it, and I appreciate being part of your life. So hopefully you have a great day. Mr. Doherty signing off. Thank you.